Alright, hello folks, I'm Pat Hogue. I'm here to talk about the grip installation on a type of a pistol that has a very unique type grip. It's a little different than most all others. It's the Smith & Wesson 3rd generation semi-automatic pistol. Before we get started, I'm going to make sure that this pistol's unloaded. I'm going to check the magazine, check the chamber before we get too far here. What you see is a plastic grip that comes original on these pistols, and it doesn't appear to have any screws or specific attachment devices except for this pin down at the bottom of the corner, and that's what we're going to focus on, is the removal of that pin, and that's what will take the grips off the gun. I'm going to grab a punch. You can use just about anything. Generally a flat-ended round pin of some sort is a good tool to use. First I'm going to try to just push it out. If that doesn't work, I'm going to take a little hammer and tap it out. But a lot of them you can put this punch and just kind of push firmly, and the pin will push out of the gun. There's a little groove in the center of the pin. Well, when we see the inside you'll see more about it. But it has the mainspring of the gun has a small dimple that rests in this groove, and that's what keeps the pin from drifting out during live fire. I'll pull the rest of the pin out. And this grip, it is made in one piece, and the way you remove it is you grasp it and you slide or pull rearward or down. This one's kind of snug. I'm gonna put that pin back in the bottom corner and maybe tap on it. Whatever it takes to get that to kind of pop off the back of the gun. There it goes. You can see how it's kind of starting to come off, and the grip will slide off and rotate out of its position. And then the grip will then spread. The two sides of the grip can spread and remove completely from the gun. And it's just a U-shaped hard plastic grip. I'll show the parts of the pistol. There's a small cap or a little cup-shaped piece and a spring inside the gun. Those two parts will come free and be loose of the gun and grip. There is I believe it's called the strut, mainspring strut. That will not come loose of the gun. That's attached and won't fall free. There's no other parts that will fall free. It leaves the exposed grip tang portion of this particular pistol. This is a model 5906. So what we're going to do now is take a closer look at the grip and the package. We'll open it up and take the parts out. Set the package aside. There is a set of instructions in there that will guide you through this process. What we have here is a set of grip panels. Yes, it is a two-piece grip that will go on a gun that's designed for originally a one-piece grip. And this is one way to attach a grip to this particular type of pistol. Also in the package is a device we call the mainspring retainer, and it performs two functions. One is it retains the mainspring of the pistol just like the original grips would in the same configuration. And it also has areas or nut inserts for the screws to attach the two panels of the grip into position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably just go ahead and take the screws out and set aside. Inside the mainspring retainer is a hole, and this cup that we talked about earlier easily fits inside there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the main spring and set down inside that cup. What we're going to do is we're going to take this assembly that consists of the cup and the mainspring retainer and the mainspring, and we're going to slide this over the strut into position. Start by lowering it down. We notice that it's extended. It's longer than the details on the gun frame, and that's because we're going to depress the spring somewhat, providing the spring-loaded, the pre-tension on the mainspring. By doing that, it lines up the hole in the plastic mainspring retainer with this original pinhole in the stainless steel gun frame, in which we're going to reinsert this pin into position. And then by taking a brass hammer, we're going to tap this pin back through the gun frame. And what that will do is it will retain the mainspring retainer into position, and it reconfigures the factory mainspring in its original condition. At this point, you could literally fire the gun in this condition, whereas the original grips are a vital portion of the gun, keeping the mainspring tension for live fire. I probably wouldn't want to shoot it in that configuration. Wouldn't be the most comfortable, but it could be done. Now, the grip panels are designed to fit the gun frame and line up with its contours. This is where the tricky part comes. Probably one of the more tricky Hogue grips to put on. What's the biggest concern are these internal tabs. There's two tabs. There's one at the front of the grip and there's one at the back, kind of a backstrap tab. The front tab has a very narrow, thin slot that's designed to indicate into the corresponding recess in the gun frame. Much like the original plastic grips, there are small tabs. So the Hogue grips tabs perform the same function. In addition to that tab, there is another tab at the back that's designed to engage next to the mainspring strut underneath a frame rail. And that's designed to hold the grip panel down in that location. So when the grip goes on the gun, the proper procedure is to nest the grip in a slightly back position so the tabs can be allowed to indicate into its corresponding details. There's one here right behind the back part of the grip and one towards the front of the grip. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply firm downward pressure while pressing the grip and sliding it up into its position. And I can even see on the inside of the grip, I don't know if you can see this, but down inside by the mainspring, I can see that plastic tab engaged the frame rail, and I can see the forward tab engaging its other corresponding recess. So therefore I have one grip panel installed, and it's ready to go. I'll take the other grip panel and basically do the same thing. The only concern I'd have here is that the two sides of the grip at the backstrap location or the seam is going to provide a little bit of resistance, so it's going to be a little more difficult to push the grip down and engage that tab. So I'm going to be cautious of that. So while I'm putting it on, and I'm going to apply firm pressure while I'm inserting the grip into its natural location. And with a little down pressure, a little force, the back of the grip comes together nice and neatly, and the rest of the grip lines up with a magazine release button in the front of the grip. And along the back I can see that the grip panels are down at the front, but still a little bit gapped at the back. That's because the grip screws aren't in their locations yet. And I can also see, if I look down inside this screw hole, I can look down and I can see the nut for the screw on both sides. I can see it lines up in that location. If it didn't line up quite right, that would tell me I didn't have it on really all the way. But at this time I can take the grip screws and I can start by putting one in here, and with a suitable size screwdriver I can start that screw into its nut, and then with some light torque, don't overdo it, but with some light torque it pulls that grip panel right into location. And then just do the same thing on the other side. When that screw is lightly torqued into position, I can see that the back of the grip is gap free, lines up well along the bottom of the frame. And oh yeah, now I've got a rubber finish on there. It's more comfortable, adds a little bit of size, but unless you have very small hands, it's comfortable. And I'm going to go ahead and insert the pistol magazine back into its position. I'm going to just kind of dry run the gun through its functions, make sure all the functions correctly operate. But I say she's good to go. She definitely bench tests very good, dresses it up, and we're good to go.